In this episode of The Excursion, we continue a two-part journey through the golden hills of Dahlonega, Georgia. We swing for the hills on a Jack Nicklaus-designed golf course, enjoy scenic mountain views along the one and only Appalachian Trail, take on a little bottling challenge at an award-winning winery, and we explore the spirits of Gold Town past with a couple of folks who have a special knack for mixing grapes and ghosts. And if I succeed, I'll enjoy a relaxing escape at one of the hot tub suites at Forest Hills Mountain Resort. But if I fail, it's the crew that gets this hot tub hideaway. Let's get started. In part one of our Dahlonega excursion, I delved into Dahlonega's golden past with Miner Mike and the kind bearded men of Consolidated Gold Mines, exploring one of the area's most incredible destinations and taking down Wes in a gold panning showdown.
Hey, all gold nuggets accounted for. Very good.
Good job.
Thank you. We then had a catch-air challenge at Iron Mountain Park and rode the over 150 miles of backwood trails on these souped-up ATVs. And succeeded in making a scrumptious fudge factory dessert full of caramel and chocolate. After that, we were rewarded with a magical carriage ride through these golden hills to a wooded ranch loaded with fun games, great tunes, and a tasty cowboy steak dinner. And so we begin part two by picking a perfect place to regroup and return to action. Introducing our home base for part two of this excursion, a comfortable, private getaway known as the Nordic Overlook, located right in the heart of these beautiful hills of gold. This glass-infused circular bungalow with luxurious modern amenities and rustic mountain charm is operated by Dahlonega Hideaway Havens and is perfectly designed, inviting a view of nature from every room. So after a little much-deserved downtime, we start this excursion off easy at a restaurant and winery that pretty much makes you feel like you have taken a trip to Tuscany. Welcome to Monteluce.
Most people are blown away. Just the scope and the breadth of the 400 acres that we have here, the way that it opens up into like a Tuscan village when you get on the property, the vines as you're driving down the main thoroughfare to the winery itself. It was designed to be a Tuscan feel, but we get everywhere from Napa, Spain. It feels a little bit magical when they drive on the property. The original concept was called La Vita Bella. It was about taking time together with the family around the table and building a lifestyle around that, around good food, good wine, and time together with friends and loved ones.
Monteluce is stunning from every angle, and they also have some exciting exploration options in addition to the food and wine. Matthew hosted us on Monteluce's wine hike, which takes you right along the headwaters of the Etowah River. And as you journey back up through the vineyard, you will learn about the wine growing and winemaking process here in this special region of Georgia.
It's a 1.8-mile hike that we offer every Saturday and Sunday. Starts at the winery doors. We'll do a walk through the property, through the 400 acres. We'll talk about the history of Dahlonega and Lumpkin County. We'll talk about the gold rush and the Cherokee people that lived here, and then we'll go into the history of the property itself. We wind up close to the headwaters of the Etowah River, make our way back around to the bottom side of the vineyard, and we'll talk about a year in the life of a grape. Then we talk about how we make the grapes into juice, the juice into wine, and how the wine ends up at your table.
When we return, we go for the greens of Achasta and take on a high-risk, high-reward bottling challenge at one of the Dahlonega Plateau's award-winning wineries. Beautiful quarters, fine wine, and a little stroll through the golden hills of Dahlonega, Georgia have been a fantastic way to kick off this excursion. So now it's time for a challenge. And this one is designed in these golden hills by the Golden Bear himself, Jack Nicholas. Welcome to Achasta.
This is beautiful. We're driving through the hills, coming north towards Dahlonega. Then we look to the right. There's Achasta. What a great setup this is.
Yeah, it's a good spot located here in the hills, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's just a perfect spot for golfers and people wanting to get away from the city.
Tell me about the style of course we have.
So this is a Jack Nicklaus design. It's a Jack Nicklaus signature course. He has made it accessible and playable for all players pretty much.
So we're playing hole number 2 right now.
I like hole number 2. It's probably my favorite hole out here. It's got a bunker here on the left-hand side off the tee, and then coming up to this green, the green is narrow and it slopes back to front. It's just one of those things that fits my eye whenever I play it.
Yeah, it didn't fit my eye. It fit my eye, but not my game,
Right.
apparently.
Sometimes I'm there too. Yeah, I feel that too sometimes.
Whoa ball. Whoa ball. Stay on the green.
The setting and course design are spectacular. Rolling hills and winding rivers. And this is where the challenge comes into play.
Let's talk about the upcoming challenge hole.
Okay, so we're going to play hole number 4. It's par 5 and it brings the Chestatee River into play. For some players it's reachable in 2, and for the smart player they'll probably lay up in 2 and then hit it over the river in 3 and save their par.
Let's say you go for 2, I'd be the smart player and go for 3.
That's okay.
See what happens. So I just got to get over that water, right?
Get over that water, play it safe.
Feels so good to see that shot. Oh man, I love Achasta, I tell you. All right, made it over the creek. Now I got to make it over the river. Get on the green in 3. Now I'm feeling really good. I cleared the creek. I won that challenge. Bump. It's gonna be money, Wes.
Lovely.
That's where he said to put it.
Very well. Look at that.
Go, baby. Yeah, but your shot was from way back there.
The funny thing is, if you make yours and I make mine, it's a half.
All right.
Not to put the pressure on you now or anything. I mean, you know.
Because I make this putt in my sleep.
Okay.
I just do what I love and it works for me. So I'm freaking every check, I put the money in the push.
There you go.
That felt a little better.
Much better.
Good thing the challenge wasn't beating you in this hole. The challenge was making it over the creek and the river.
Yeah, you did pretty well.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. That was fun. I really appreciate the challenge, and I'm glad to see some good shots in there. That chip shot was pretty special, actually, to be honest.
Oh, thank you.
Fun to watch.
Well, it was good coaching. He is a teacher, Volks. If you're available, find Patrick Higgins here at Achasta. Thank you.
Thank you very
I'll be
much.
calling you. That was awesome.
Absolutely, that was great.
So after a fine round of golf at Achasta, it's time for a little mini reward. And this one is sweet in so many ways. Just a few miles up the road, we discover Wolf Mountain, home to Dahlonega Plateau's award-winning winery and restaurant, Wolf Mountain Vineyards.
My father's 40 years in the hospitality industry, so he was managing country clubs, resorts. He was executive vice president and opened Chateau Lawn, which was one of the first wineries in the state, so that kind of got the wine bug. And this was a retirement project before we knew how much work went into it. Nothing was here when we purchased the land, so this was a pine thicket. We didn't even realize we had these views until the trees started going down, so he always laughs and jokes about real estate luck. We kept coming back to this piece of property specifically to grow red wine varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon, which are very hard to ripen on the East Coast. This property is very conducive for growing and ripening reds. The property runs due east to west, so we're all south and southwest facing. Our Cabernet Sauvignon is a 2-time double gold medal winner out in San Francisco, so it shows that Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a very hard grape to ripen on the East Coast, can go out and compete with the big boy Cabernets of California. We just got our AVA passed, so now the federal government has deemed that this area, now known as the Dahlonega Plateau, is conducive to growing fine wine grapes. When people think of Georgia and wine, they typically don't think of Cabernet Sauvignon. Most people think of Muscadine and Scuppernong, you know, the native grapes. But this little pocket here is very unique to growing the fine wine grapes, and we're really trying to change the name of Georgia wine. We offer tastings and tours. We also have a full-service restaurant. We do lunch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a la carte, and then we do a wonderful Sunday brunch. Wolf Mountain is really known for come up on Sunday and really enjoy the brunch with us on Sundays. Here on the property, we've got 2 guest cottages that are nightly rentals, and then you've got the downtown square, all the lodging down there. We've got 7 wineries in the area. You know, you guys have been around and seen all the nature and the wonderful things there are to do, from hiking, fishing, mountain biking. So really making this a destination for folks to come and do multi-day trips, be able to go to the different spots and enjoy all that Dahlonega has to offer.
But not so fast with all of this reward excitement. There's actually a challenge here. Many of the employees here at the winery are students of North Georgia College, located just down the mountain in the heart of town. And they have perfected the art of what I call speed bottling, or to them, just bottling wine.
Well, Dave, thanks for coming in and helping us out. I think Cheyenne's actually got to get to class, so that works out great. But all you're going to be doing is basically just taking the foil capsules and putting them on top of the bottle, giving them a little tap down and handing them over to Andrew, and then he's going to be spinning the capsule on the bottle. So it's kind of the finishing touch.
All right, so as long as Andrew over here doesn't blow it for me.
Exactly. As long as he doesn't blow it, we'll be all right.
Okay. Here. All right. Oh, it's catching up, catching up.
You're hired.
And you say this goes faster, right?
Yeah.
Has he ever dropped one?
He has not yet. No.
Yes.
All right.
I'm backed up. Oh, this is harder than it looks, folks. Oh, it's rhythm. Okay, I think I'm getting it now.
Now you're getting a rhythm.
This is the Wolf Mountain Vineyards Plentitude. See, now I have time to even pitch it. All right.
Working hard on the wine assembly line has made for a unique part 2 of our Dahlonega excursion, and the fun continues in the heart of the Chattahoochee National Forest. Let's now journey to the Ramrock Mountain trailhead right along the Appalachian Trail and meet trail volunteer Tom Lamb, who tells us all about the wonders of hiking the legendary AT.
The idea first came up in the 1920s, and it wasn't to hike from end to end, it was to be able to go out on the weekend and take a hike. The trail runs from Georgia to Maine, 2,198 miles this year.
Okay, and it starts here in Georgia at Springer Mountain?
Right, that's 19 miles south of here.
So you're one of those guys who marks the trees. Let us know where we're going. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, those blazes are 2 inches by 6 inches. They're white, and they mark the whole AT, all 2,198 miles from Georgia to Maine.
Georgia to Maine. How many miles are in Georgia?
78 miles of the AT.
Where we are now, this is fantastic. This is a 1.3 mile hike to this view we got behind us. This is stunning.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite hikes because it's an easy hike too. Where we started, a lot of people go the other direction for a mile to Preacher Rock, which also has a panoramic view, but it's not as spectacular as this in my opinion.
So this is Ramrock, and what's special about here is the view and what you can see.
On a perfect day, 70 miles away, you can see the Atlanta skyline and Stone Mountain. On the whole AT, here you can see Atlanta, and on Bear Mountain in New York, you can see New York City. Those are the only 2 places on the trail where you can see a major city. Lumpkin County that Dahlonega is in is 40% national forest.
And that creates a barrier of sorts for suburban sprawl.
Exactly.
Stay close to the city, but you're a world away.
Yeah.
It's not like they made the trail in the 1930s and everything was good to go.
Well, every mile of the whole 2,000 miles has a volunteer maintainer who adopts that section and makes several trips a year to clean the drains out, clear blowdowns, improve the trail. Sometimes we have to move it. Sometimes it's in such bad shape for 100 years that we actually build a new section and close the old section. So it's constantly moving, and every year the length changes because of that.
This show always comes with challenges. Now, as we were coming up, I saw you doing a little clearing, but I guess on the way down, if I clear a few things, I get through this little challenge. This is as much of a reward, just having this.
Right. There's always things to clear off the trail. I've got a little razor saw with me, and you know, I think it'd probably fit in your hand really well.
All right, Tom, you got some work for me here.
All right.
I have no idea what it is.
So we're going to do a little trail work here. One of the things we're constantly doing is clearing rocks off the trail that migrate onto it.
Okay.
Or they may be old steps that fell. They're trip hazards. This is kind of a big one.
So that one's not there on purpose. I always wonder what's there to stop erosion because I see the ones along the side.
Exactly. And normally a way to tell is if we put them in on purpose, you're not going to move it with your foot because we bury them in the ground.
Okay, that makes sense.
So this thing's just in the way, and so is that one.
I got 2 rocks to lift.
That's right.
Hercules. All right, here we go. Are there any smaller rocks? All right.
Just remember to lift with your legs and not with your back.
And I did it wrong. Okay. Should I just toss it anyway, just off the trail?
Off the trail. Excellent.
But I got a couple more.
That's right.
Feel for the rocks. That one's sturdy, but that's not, and that's not. So you think these just wash down?
Yep, for sure.
Doing my part to help maintain this legendary trail system was quite an honor.
That's not a knife.
No.
That's a saw.
And really leads one to appreciate what goes into keeping it in good shape and the folks like Tom who make this place better for the rest of us.
Challenge complete. Trail saved. Everyone, y'all can come on now. Appalachian Trail's open.
So as the sun starts to set, we head back downtown for a little more history, mixed with grapes and ghosts.
My mom quit her job, and 5 years later, we've incorporated a wine tasting room, and we now have 5 tours that we do all together.
We are right on the square.
Oh, yes.
That's what I love. We have the fudge factory right down there. You come up and you are almost transported back in time a little bit. That's what it feels like.
Well, you know, this building's got a really unique history. Over the years, it's been a bordello. They've had moonshining stills in here. There's been gambling halls. We've had 3 different murders take place in the building over the years.
Really?
Oh, yes. That's why we think we have so much activity. We've been told by the mediums that our particular section is safe. There's not much activity, but all the adjacent buildings have had stories.
It's a family operation around here, and a fun one at that. Here you learn about the more mysterious side of Dahlonega history, but they make sure that you have a good time in doing so.
We are at stop number 2. Jeremy started off. We had a good conversation. Where have you taken us, Penny?
Well, welcome to Dahlonega Tasting Room. This is the oldest tasting room on the square. The building was built in 1914 and it's built as the town's post office. Angela Wilson, who started the tasting room, actually pioneered the tasting room laws and regulations for the city of Dahlonega in the early 90s. This building is haunted by the spirit of a woman, and the ghost has done things like bottles slide out of shelves, glasses slide out of shelves. She had glass countertops, and one day it's totally quiet on the streets, and the glass countertops just inexplicably explode on her. Welcome to Dahlonega Square Hotel. This is our 3rd stop on the wine tour. This hotel was built in 1882. It's actually called the McGuire House. It's now called Dahlonega Square Hotel, but it was built by Goodman McGuire, who was the town casket maker at the time. So I don't know if you noticed the 2 doors when we come in. We think one was a private entrance and one was a public entrance for the coffin store.
Which one did we come in?
We came in the private entrance. So unless you want to purchase a coffin, I don't know.
No, not right now. When we walked in here, I knew there might be a few stories. I'm sure you have a few stories of your own.
Of course. Welcome to Canvas and Cork. This is the last stop on our wine tour. I did want to show you one picture before we end, and that's Corky the Clown.
Corky the Clown. Corky's here at night.
In the basement.
In the basement. And you have to come here to see Corky, right? So that is a good reason to be here.
It's a good reason to come on our tours.
I'm curious. I'm very curious because this is terrifying. Penny, thank you. Jeremy, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, but unfortunately I'm not going to sleep well tonight.
Hi, my name's Josie, and these are my sisters, Caitlin and Hannah. And we're at our favorite store in Dahlonega, Giggle Monkey Toys. Look at all these games. There's games for kids to adult kids. Research says playing makes you smart. I concur.
Golden Hills, award-winning wine, flowing rivers, and ghostly encounters offer just a taste of everything available here in Dahlonega, Georgia. And lucky for me, it's reward time. In part one of this excursion, we enjoyed the carriage ride through the woods to a rustic creekside escape with the friendly folks of Forest Hills Mountain Resort.
Come and get it!
So this round, we opt for the more pampered side of their many amenities. Time to discover their hot tub honeymoon suites.
My dad got an idea to build a couple cabins, a single bedroom cabin with a hot tub in it. Nobody had done that. It was, Poconos was the only place that done something like that. Yeah. And they did an article on us, and it came out in the newspaper, and literally our phone rang off the hook, and we were booked solid for 5 years.
Now this is living. I have my beautifully bottled wine here from Wolf Mountain Vineyards. I am tucked away in one of the hot tub cabins here at Forest Hills Resort. This one's known as Cupid's Hideout. And just think, crew, this could have all been yours, but tonight, it is mine. Yow! Woo!
So from high adrenaline adventures in part one to a more relaxed and luxurious side of town in this go-around, Dahlonega, Georgia has everything for every mood. And just remember, no matter what you choose, you can't go wrong, because every inch of these historic hills are pure gold. Excursion complete. See you next time.